let's go ahead and launch right into our mock draft here. Oh, I did it. I segued again. Segue. Let's see what we got here. Let's start off. Now, we're not going to trade to start off with. First off, I got to tell you guys this because I know people are going to talk about, well, should we trade down to 1? We're not going to trade down to 1 because Tennessee didn't sign a single quarterback. That just tells you there's no way in hell that they're not going to go ahead and, trade down with us at that point. It's just not going to happen.
No, everything it comes out from Tennessee and around the area.
Yep,
they're taking Cam Ward. It's a pretty obvious lock in number 1.
Exactly. I mean, maybe the Browns, but I don't know what you give to move up 1 pick. I don't know, and I just don't think it's a scenario that we're going to see either. To be very frank.
Yeah.
So, I mean, basically, the Browns get to pick the best player not named Cam Ward. Whoever that happens to be in their eyes. Like I said, we kind of have mixed opinions on a lot of the different people out there. So, we'll see what happens. All right, before we get to the trades, let's see what happened here first. So, Cameron Ward. We have to go all professional and full on here. Cameron. Kirk Cameron. He's current Cameron Ward. Cam Ward goes number 1. Armand Membu of Missouri. We talked about him the other day. Our best tackle on our board there. It looks like Cleveland agreed and took him. Now,
yeah,
this is what I always say about mock drafts. Sometimes they just do stupid, ridiculous things. I don't think there's a shot in hell that Membu goes number 2. Like, there's no way in hell. Like, I feel like one of the 3, Abdul Carter, Travis Hunter, or Shedeur Sanders, will go to the Browns. I also feel like one of the 3 of those 3 will go to the Giants as well, based on whatever 2 are left over.
Yeah.
Let's be very frank here. I think the biggest thing is that the Patriots are hoping that they get Travis Hunter. I think they're salivating for Travis Hunter. I really do. I think they're like hoping beyond hope that something happens. Now, here's what we got now. In this scenario, which, again, I don't think this scenario is going to happen. You got Carter, Hunter, and Sanders, all 3 of them still available. Now, the trade offers we got a chance to go down to 7th, but we gain pick 42. We lose pick 219. We can go down to 16, get 16, 47, 78, and second round pick. Now, here's what really boils down to. Do you guys believe the rumors that the Giants do not want to take Shedeur Sanders? Because there are rumors like crazy about that here. And I don't think it's the truth. By the way, anybody else find it funny there was a bloating commercial on the screen along with the McDonald's breakfast commercial on the other part of the screen? I'm sorry, that's just too good. It's like the ads are working in sync. The ads are working in sync on this website. I just feel like that, to me, is a scenario that we got to dive into here. And Rob, you kick it off. What do you think? Do you think the Giants would take Shedeur Sanders? Do you think they're not sold on Sanders?
I think there's been a lot of show either way. But I think they are sold on him. I'm not sold on him, but I don't know if Dable's sold on him, but I think there's a lot of people in the Giants organization that are, which tells me they're probably going to get him because it kind of reminds me what happened to Thibodeau. Like, we're not going to go to him. Look how terrible it was. Terrible interview. Why would we want him? But you also got Dion out there on the other side working. It's like, it's got to go to the right market. They started like kind of flashed that when we had the number 1 pick. Like, hey, listen, he's not going to go to Cleveland. And then we had to go win against Colts. And then the smoke screen started. So I do think we're going to go take him at 3.
And that's the question. And we got the man cave in here with the comment. Always make the Jets deal because Shedeur will be there at 7 in this mock. Jets will take Hunter. I don't know. Here's my thing. And I don't dispute that you could trade down potentially.
I think you're safe with the Jets.
Here's something. You're not unsafe with the Jets. That's for sure. I agree with you on that. The Jets would not take him. They would take Hunter or Carter. They would take one of the two. Here's my issue. Number 6. I'm not trusting that the Raiders wouldn't go ahead and take him. Now, we've mocked before, and we've gone ahead and taken a deal down to 5 with the Jaguars. And I have no problem going down to 4 or 5. But I think 7, my concern is those Raiders. I know they
That's
just
fine.
got Geno. They just re-signed Geno to a larger contract. Well, the Falcons just re-signed Kirk Cousins last year. How'd that work out?
Yeah, but the Raiders also are the Raiders. And they just...
The Raiders would love to have Shedeur Sanders there. Are you kidding me? That is a circus they would invite. I mean, literally, their stadium is not far down the road from Circus Circus.
Yeah. You're not wrong for that scare, but at the same time, it's like sometimes the Raiders' mistakes are their own mistakes and they can't get out of their own way.
Yeah.
And they might try to take someone else because now they feel like they fill that need and let's go for a richer quarterback, draft class next year because they're probably not going to do much more than what they did this year.
So here's the options we got then. Hunter, Carter, trade with the Jets. Which way are you going?
What do you mean, like to get Shedeur to trade with the Jets?
Well, trade with the Jets and whoever's there to 7. You have no idea who's going to be there to 7.
Well, I mean, Shedeur's still on the board, so you say
We have
Hunter or Carter.
Shedeur is at the board at 3. We don't know if he'll be
Yeah.
there at 7, and that's the question we're
Oh, I thought you said Hunter or Carter at 3, then that's it. Go to 7.
No, we can't get 7 without trading 3.
Yeah.
Obviously.
No.
I would love that scenario. Yes, I'll take both.
No, I thought you gave me the option of the 2 good players. So
That's what I'm saying. So Carter, Hunter, Sanders, or trade down to 7.
I honestly don't think the Giants are going to give up the 3 pick. I think they're going to get Shedeur.
I'm not taking the risk. I know see people say we're
Yeah.
crazy. I'm not taking the risk that Shedeur Sanders is not going to go to the Raiders. And I
Yeah.
do think, while you and I may not be fully sold on Sanders, I feel like the Giants are. And I feel like I hear a lot of rumbling that they're not. And that tells me they are. Because that's what the Giants do at draft time.
Yeah.
In the Shane era, they will tell you the exact opposite of what they want to do. Point blank.
Yeah.
So we're going Sanders, right?
Yes, sir. That's what I pretty much just said just before.
Okay. Oh, we're going through. We're going through here. All right. Before we get to that real quick, I want to look to really see what happens. So Abdul Carter, Tet went there. Will Campbell. Okay, they took Will Campbell. Mason Graham. Okay. Will Johnson. Okay. Travis Hunter went down to number 9. Wow. That's what you know. This is why you know that mock drafts just are not always realistic. Like, they're fun to do. We enjoy doing with y'all. But I'm like, and it's probably bad that we're saying that in the show, but it is what it is. Just saying, like, they're not that accurate. All right. Number 34. Here's what we got. We got Gray Zabel out of North Dakota State, which I cannot believe dropped down into the second round. Williams, the defensive tackle at Ohio State. You got Jalen Milroe, which I think is safe for not going that route. We already took Sanders.
Yeah.
You got edge, tackle, guard. I mean, I feel like maybe I'm crazy for it. I'm feeling a little gray. I feel like he should not have dropped. And I feel like he's a guy who can play anywhere in the interior offensive line and maybe even outside in a pinch because he did play outside. They list him as a guard here. He was a tackle in college. He also played center at the Senior Bowl member. So this is a guy who can literally play anywhere in the offensive line. And isn't that a great thing to have on an offensive line that literally has everybody get hurt everywhere?
Yeah. He's played the past 10 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely feeling a little great with you as well.
Let's go.
I was looking up down the board, but yeah. You
Now
gotta
the
take
trade
best
offers
player.
before we almost got to the trade offers. The Steelers are offering us pick 83 in next year's first for 34 and 154.
Yeah, go kick rocks.
Um,
First? Wow.
the Falcons are offering us a second next year along with pick 46, but we have to also give up pick 246. I'm not going down 12 and missing out on a guy who I think really helps this offensive line personally.
Yeah. No, I don't like those at all.
Done.
First
We did
round
it. We
pick
did
next
it.
year was a little something.
All righty. So we're at 65, the first overall pick in the third round. We got some interesting options here. So, all right. So we got Henderson and Jukins, the two running backs out of Ohio State. You got Marcus Mbao, the tackle out of Purdue. We talked about him. There's the last episode. TJ Sanders, defensive tackle out of South Carolina. Also, Darius Alexander, the defensive tackle out of Toledo. We got some options here, but I feel like we're building the trenches. That's what I feel like. So it's either Sanders or Alexander for me because I want to build up the defensive line. Now, for the record, Dorothy's already sitting there saying, take Darius Alexander.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just wish I put up side by side so I can show people on the screen what they're saying about him there. Now, the trades, the Giants could go with the Jets, go down just from 65 to 73. You pick up 110, you give up 154. Or you go down 3 picks and you pick up a 7th next year. That's not giving me much there for that trip. That's for sure. Now, I would take the trade down for the 3 picks personally because I know one of my 2 defensive tackles. I'm sitting there, but I'm also like, is it worth it? But is it worth it for a 7th round pick next year?
I mean, as long as you get more picks, then you can start using that to trade up and do different stuff with.
Not trading up far with the 7th round pick next year.
No.
That's why.
I know if it was like a 5th round, then it's like more enticing, but it's like you're pretty much picking up practice squad.
You can always counter them. Want to counter them at like 197 this year? See what they say?
Yeah, see what they say.
Let's see. Worst they say is no.
Yeah.
And they accepted it. There we go. There we go. So we're down. And we still have both options, by the way, for defensive tackle. So, and we still have both running backs from Ohio State, too. I mean, look, not much has changed, I feel like. Let's see. Kyle Williams went. That's who they traded for. Andrew Makuba from Texas. Jack Betch, the wide receiver. That's the really big wide receiver at the TCU. Went right after that. Yeah.
He was like 20 pounds away from being a tight end.
Yeah. Is it time for our episodal comment about Eddie Lacy?
Yeah. He's going to the Golden Corral on the Maple Dean.
So we got, to me, as you're going down between the two tackles there, and I like both tackles, but I take a little feedback here. And
I agree with Dorothy there.
Darius Alexander.
Listen, we already traded back once.
We're going for it.
Yeah.
We're going for it. Boom. Done. Let's see. All right, we're at pick 99 now. This is our comp pick in that third round. So we can give up that pick along with 246 for next year's 4th from the Falcons with 118. No. Or we can go down 16 picks and pick up 152. I feel like we have enough picks.
Yeah, especially those later round picks with 152.
All the issues we have, that is not one of them.
Yeah.
So, you know what I find very interesting in this? TJ Sanders is still there. We need defensive linemen, guys. Like I feel like that's like our biggest weak point still. Like we didn't pick up anybody of any substance in this free agency. We picked up a bunch of guys who were legit backups. Don't get me wrong, but guys you don't have to start. And I feel like if you can get a couple rookies, throw them in there, just best man wins, best man goes out. You know, maybe it's one of those scenarios where you know, you go ahead and get, you know, players that you might gain time with as the year goes on, kind of force the veterans to start the year and kind of dwindle down their playing time as the young kids progress. I'm really thinking TJ Sanders. We're doubling up and third round defensive tackle. But what do you think, Rob? I mean, Tez Johnson is there. He fits perfectly the mold of a Dable offense. You know, Elijah Arroyo is definitely an intriguing tight end.
I mean, we definitely got some choices.
Charles Grant could be an interesting player too. Zy Alexander, corner at LSU. There's a couple of decent players there, you know.
That I was looking a little further down. That's what I was looking at. It's more of like a safety outside position, like a corner position. Because I mean, we need to build the lines. You're not wrong there.
We've been doing, I think, a lot of that too.
Yeah, I think we need to. I mean, granted, we did expand the corner room this offseason, but I think it needs a little more work to it. But I mean, Sanders dropping down that far, like I think you have to take advantage of it.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I think you have to go best player available.
We're going for it. Boom.
Shaka.
Oh, guess what? We're picking again at 105 here now because we made that trade. No, actually, this is the one we're trading. This is our regular fourth round pick. Sorry. So, okay, we got pick 105. We got offered from the Bucks 121 and 157. Again, I think we have enough picks personally.
Yeah.
All right. So, that being said,
we still have Zay Alexander out there. We still got Billy Bowman.
I think Alexander's the way to go here. I mean, in the comments, feel free to let us know. I know Dorothy said Joshua Farmer or Billy Bowman sitting there last time. You know, I feel like we can get a running back later on because I do see Tootin sitting there from Virginia Tech. That intrigues me a little bit there.
A little bit, but I mean, I would go safety or corner at this position. This is kind of where they sit, and you could get some good ones that shine.
And I think Alexander is one of those people that could develop into a starting corner, but definitely needs some developmental time. You know, good size and everything there. Just I think like a couple of technique issues there, so to speak. So that's a guy you can maybe develop. I mean, you also got to look Charles Grant, the kid from the smallest school basically this entire draft. You know, could you mold him into an NFL talent there? But we've already taken an offensive lineman. We've already taken 2 defensive linemen. And much as I like doing that, I feel like if you wait too much longer, we're not going to get a corner that actually could help. And
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. So I'm going Zy Alexander, my vote.
I'm still in the air. I was leaning Bowman on this one.
Well, I could feel it coming in the air tonight.
Oh,
what's in the air?
Oh God, Phil Collins, you freak!
You can never listen to that song the same way again, huh?
No, that you slowed it down.
I've been waiting for this moment all my life.
I've been waiting.
Oh Lord.
Yeah. Oh Lord.
All right. So who
let's look at the notes real fast for Billy Bowman and Alexander.
So Billy Bowman, there you go. There's your notes there. Really, really tiny. This is the size of a nickel corner that's playing in the slot that's apparently playing safety.
Yeah, go to.
I'm sorry, I can't draft a safety. It's 190 pounds. It's just a rule.
So does Alexander.
Didn't get too much on him there, huh?
Yeah. Talk about being wee guys.
He's 6'1" at least. He's got a little height at least. He just needs to add a couple pounds.
Yeah, let's go Alexander.
Done. All righty. We're going. We're going for round 5 now, guys.
Keep chugging.
Pick 154. Now, here's where I do want to start looking at some of the running back situations here, you know? Now, keep in mind our next pick after this is 197. Okay. That's the one we traded for with the Broncos. So we still got 4 more picks to go. But if you look at the running back situation, got plenty of guys there, you know? Like, I don't know about you, but I don't really feel the need to go crazy and, you know, go too quickly. I feel like you can get a good running back later on.
Yeah, there's still a lot on the board. A lot.
Yeah. So I don't want to force that pick. So let's see who we got. We got Seth McLaughlin. But again, we already took an inside offensive lineman. I actually like him for a 5th round pick. He's the kid who had the snap count issue, the snapping issues back when he was at Alabama. So maybe you have to move him to a guard, but I know Dorothy's saying Devin Neal. Some people say is the 3rd best in the draft at running back. Some people, not these people.
Correct. Some people.
Like I say, he's not bad. I just don't think I think he's overrated in this draft. I really do. So, I mean, if you look at what we got already, we got quarterback, we got a defensive tackle, 2 defensive tackles, we got an inside offensive lineman, we got a corner. And to me, what I would love to get is a wide receiver. You got Jalen Lane there. I mean, I feel like there should be more there. Must have been a run, basically. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to happen every single draft, that's for sure. So, it's a matter of, do you want to go ahead and pick a wide receiver at a need, but also knowing that this is your last chance to get one, basically, that's actually going to be able to produce something probably. You're already in the 5th round. I mean, are we expecting anything out of a 7th round wide receiver?
No, and you might be forcing one in the 5th round too, because I mean, we came in, we got a quarterback, which is a need, a cornerback, which is a need. Worked on offensive tackle, worked on the defensive line. Like, we got some needs there. We're, playing a little roulette with the running back, which we'll probably get next round or next pick.
I feel like Jalen Lane fits what we do. And what I mean by that is he's that small, shifty kind of wide receiver. Doesn't have necessarily blazing speed, but he's small, he's shifty. He's got the guy you can line up as a running back, as a slot receiver, as an outside receiver. He's got those kind of abilities. Didn't necessarily have a ton of production, that's for sure. Got a 4.34 40 time though. I mean, that's pretty damn good.
Yeah, I mean that's something that you utilize, like you said, like in the backfields, you use them. Like versus player, like line them up in the slot, do a little play action with him.
I'm kind of shocked by that 40 time. I didn't think when we watched his film, I didn't feel like he was that fast. Maybe it's just he's so tiny, he has trouble running with pads on.
Maybe.
He's 5'10", 191 pounds. He's that's what I'm saying. That fits the mold of what the Giants like. Those guys that do those shifty, quick routes that you can hope and get some yak yards afterwards. So I think I'd go that route personally.
Yeah. No, I'm agreeing, because then you could go running back next in the next pick.
That's probably where depending who's there, but yeah. All right, Jalen Lane, we're going for it.
And if you don't get a solid running back that's coming up, you could also, utilize him in the backfield with Tracy. So
Yep. All righty. Here's what we got. First off, I know people love Peebles, by the way. I can't believe he's still there. That's going to get some people saying, hey, wait a minute. Hold on. There's a guy on here, I'm a big fan of. And that's Jarquez Hunter, Auburn. You're telling me you got an all SEC running back available in the 6th round?
Yeah,
I mean,
sign me up.
Jaden Blue, I wasn't a big fan of. Jordan James, I like him, but I don't think he's got the same talent that Hunter's got. LaQuint Allen, I think he's more of a third down back kind of guy. Khalil Mullings, he's raw. I think Hunter's the guy who can help us out personally.
I think so. And like I said,
As
Auburn.
Ghost Dogs, Big Talks suggested the kid from Rutgers. He's gone. He went. Like I said, I feel weird because I feel like I like Hunter a lot more than a lot of people do. I don't know if I'm the only one, but I mean, anybody else wants to give their thoughts in the comments section on him, feel free. But I mean, I was really impressed with what he's done the last couple of years here in Auburn. Decent size overall, succeeded in the toughest place to succeed basically in all of college football in the SEC. And I wasn't on a super team. That's what I like about it too. It's like, like it wasn't like he was surrounded by people that can be drafted all day long as well. Like when you go to Alabama or Georgia, um, as Dorothy says, that Mullings may be Tracy 2.0. Remember, he was the kid they converted from a linebacker to running back at Michigan there because of all the injuries and just kind of stuck there. And I like him because I think he's a good special teamer too. I just think that you're telling me I got a guy who was a converted linebacker to running back. That wasn't bad. Or I get a guy who was all SEC.
Yeah. When you're talking about this lane, you got to go all SEC.
Obviously, nobody thinks very highly of Hunter to a certain degree for being an all SEC for the fact he's available in the 6th round. But yes,
yeah,
that's where I would go.
Yeah, yeah, I would definitely go Hunter as well.
Go for it. We're hunting for Hunter. All right, 7th round. It's where the real money's made.
Yeah, that's how the champions are made.
Now, here's where Raheem Sanders is there too. We could have held off and gotten him too. I like him a lot, but I still think the Hunter's a better player than him. All right, so out of the players I'm seeing there, let me know if you want me to look at a specific group here. There's a couple guys who intrigued me already. Curtis Rourke, I'm a fan of him getting him because you can let him just sit for a year on the IR because he tore his ACL. Let him come back and start fresh next year and try to be your cheap backup. Trevor Etienne, I'm surprised he's still available too. Georgia.
Who else thought he was going to kind of drop too? Like
but 7th round.
Surprised. Surprised just with the name it. Yeah, recognition needing to go.
I just didn't think. Yeah. Let's see here. Kobe Hudson is what Dorothy's calling for, the wide receiver out of UCF. You know who's intriguing me though? Is
it Luke Lacey?
Luke Lachey.
Luke Lachey, like Nick.
There's an H in there. There's just something about Iowa tight ends.
And I was literally going to say, what have we picked up this draft? What should we pick up every year?
And this is I believe the last year, right, for the rookie deal for Bellinger, who there was rumors about him not even making it out of camp last year. And he's obviously fallen out of favor with the Giants coaching staff the last 2 years. I like Luke Lachey here. Because you know what the nice thing is? It's a 7th round pick. If he beats out Bellinger, great. If he doesn't, you put him on the practice squad. You develop him a little and see what happens next year.
Yeah, good luck next year.
Yeah. We on the same page?
Yeah, 100%.
Boom.
Boom.
Maybe Nick Lachey will come for the home opener.
Yeah.
All righty. Now there's 2 guys in here as we have drafted before in this list of what I can see already. Curtis Rourke, again, who we talked about him a minute ago. Shiloh
you
Sanders.
wanted to take him earlier.
I didn't say that. I said he's there. Shiloh Sanders, the safety, the brother of Shedeur Sanders, who we also got. Make it a Sanders.
Sanders.
The Sanderson brothers.
No.
Like the Sanderson sisters.
That's going to say.
That
happened in Salem, though.
It did. Let's see here. Yeah. I mean, honestly, we're so far down the line too. That's who I would go with personally. One of those two. I'm good either way. I mean, it's like, do you want to try to develop Rourke to be your backup quarterback to Sanders?
I mean, at this point, it's a crapshoot. You also have you got to think about the roster this year.
Dorothy's in the comments saying Ja'Cory Brooks. By the way, we already got a running back though. We already got a little running back. That's what he. I mean, sorry, a little wide receiver. He's a little wide receiver. So he's already got one of them.
But when you're talking about Rourke, you got to think about we got DeVito still. It's under contract. You got
but DeVito's not going to be around long term. You know that.
No, but
that's why I don't think the Giants would take him.
Yeah,
because of that.
You just signed DeVito to a contract, and you just picked up 2 in free agency, and we took 1 in the first round. You have 4 quarterbacks. You're gonna pick a 5th on? Where are you gonna stash him? So
on the IR, he's got an ACL tear. He's gonna be out for the year. That's what I'm saying. It's more of a looking down the road to next year, where you can go ahead and do that. You know.
I mean, it's not the worst. If you really think like, he's going to be that dude, he also be a hooker guy that, you stash him in the IR.
Whoa, we're called gigolos.
Yeah, but you stash him in the IR and you kind of let him sit there for a couple years and have.
All right, Dorothy's saying that Brooks is 6'3". He's still 184 pounds. It's tiny. The wee lad. Think about this. I am 6'7", 250 pounds. So I have 65 pounds in this kid with just 4 inches.
That's it. I wouldn't brag about that.
Now, don't get me wrong. I am not skinny. But he should at least have more muscle, and muscle's heavier than fat, as Rob will tell you.
Yeah, because I'm 5'10", about 240 right now.
Yep. That's not from fat guys, though.
Yeah.
Definitely not.
Oh, it definitely has a lot to do with cheeseburgers and not go to the gym.
All right. Where are you thinking? Because honestly, I look at this group and I look at, okay, what do we still need on this team? We do need safety depth.
Yeah.
Do I think Sanders is going to provide it? I don't know. Do I think that he can actually help with his brother as well? Because, again, we've talked about this in the show nonstop, but I want to beat the dead horse here. But Shedeur has always had his dad there. He's always had his brother there, pretty much, you know? Except for a little bit when his brother first went to college before Shedeur was when he was still in high school. But he's always had that support staff around him. You're basically cutting the umbilical cord by drafting this kid.
Yeah, I mean, just if you think Sanders is your guy, just having his brother there, like,
yeah. Now, I also don't know the family dynamic. For all I know, they fight like cats and dogs, or they group together and they're gonna be negative together. I don't know, you know, like, and that's something the Giants would have to know, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, it's on the 7th round, so you might want to take the safety net with Shedeur, or you could take the hopes and dreams next year.
Yeah,
but because DeVito's not long.
I mean, your hope and dream for Curtis Rourke is really to be a backup quarterback. Let's be honest.
Yeah,
here. I don't know if that's that kind of hope and dream.
True, but I mean, it's also like it's not like you're planning to have Shedeur long term either. Or not Shedeur, sorry, Sanders. Wrong Sanders.
Shiloh.
Yes.
Not Shedeur. We plan on having Shedeur forever, hopefully. All right, where are you going? You going?
Let's go, Shiloh.
Shia LaBeouf. Here we go.
Just do it.
All right. So here's our final draft here for the Giants. Their final mock draft here before the draft. Shedeur Sanders at 3, quarterback out of Colorado. Gray Zabel, they're listing him as a guard. He can play pretty much wherever. Out of North Dakota State. Darius Alexander, defensive tackle out of Toledo. TJ Sanders, defensive tackle out of South Carolina. Zy Alexander, corner out of LSU. Jalen Lane, wide receiver out of Virginia Tech. Jarquez Hunter, running back out of Auburn at 197. At 219, Luke Lachey, tight end out of Iowa. And 246, Shiloh Sanders, safety, Colorado. I said we'll see. By the way, Deb put this on here. I have heard this as well. I was going to say this in a moment too. So you beat me to the punch, Deb. She said I think it was Jordan Ronan. He was the one who said it. That heard that Dable is sold on Sanders and Shane not as much. There's a rumor actually. There's a big disconnect between those two, and that's actually why Dable showed up randomly to the Colorado Pro Day, because that wasn't originally the plan. That he's pushing that. I mean, again, part of the problem I run into is somebody to give you, who would I rather have in charge of this? Well, first off, I'd always rather have the coach in charge to a certain degree on that, because they're the ones who have to actually coach them. You want your coach to support whoever you pick. But my big thing is I don't know who was more involved with the Josh Allen thing in Buffalo. Because, everybody's talking about these two brought in Josh Allen. Well, they didn't necessarily. They were the assistants of the people that brought in Josh Allen.
Yeah.
I don't know what kind of say they had. For all I know, they were both saying, "Oh, that Josh Rosen kid looks pretty good." Like, I have no clue. I have no clue.
Josh Allen guy had too many dropsies.
Yeah, he definitely did. All right. Like I said, I think good draft overall, though. We got our quarterback. We got the defensive line shored up. We got a good offensive line guy that could start. Let's be honest here. Could start.
Yeah. Fairly fast.
Yeah. Got a couple of nice weapons there as well for Shedeur to play with there. Another shifty receiver, a decent running back to pair with Tyrone Tracy Jr., a developmental tight end coming from the school of tight ends, and a safety that's basically a safety net.
Yeah.
And an emotional support animal. Emotional support animal for Shedeur. Yeah. Like I said.
If you like that clip, then you will love the full episodes too. Find us on your favorite podcast app and look for us on all your favorite social media platforms.
Thanks so much.